she's been quite a handful. We usually have Great Danes, and we get them when they're older, when people don't want them anymore. So going from a Great Dane that's pretty lazy to a Border Collie Blue Heeler, it's been a little bit more work. So I think we have her that she's not eating everything and destroying everything, but she is sitting right beside me. So if she bolts or something, all my stuff is going to go flying. So hopefully she will behave a little bit, but she is looking out the window, so she could start barking at anything. Today I'm here to start my year's usage project pan intro. This project was originally created by Sarah Catherine, and she takes a set amount of palettes and she uses every eyeshadow the number of times that it is in the year. So for 2023, she'd use each eyeshadow 23 times. And for this year, 2025, I'm going to use every shadow 25 times. I did start this about 3 months ago just to see if it was something I could stick to. My project will be a little bit different than hers. I'm going to use all my eyeshadow palettes and just rotate through them. I'm going to use every eyeshadow 25 times, and we'll see how far we get with end of the year. I probably have 79 palettes, so I doubt I'm going to get any of them completed. How I'm going to do this is I'm going to pick a base shadow. I'm going to use it 25 times or until I hit pan, and then I'll roll it out for a different one. I still want to use, if I hit pan before 25 uses, I still want to use 25 uses, but I'm just going to roll it out to get something out so I get as many pans as I can in the year, and then I'll go back and use them to get the rest of the usage. And then I'm going to use a black, because I use the black on the inner or the outer corner every day, and an inner corner shade. So I'm going to have 3 that I use 25 times or pan. And then I'm going to have 4 eyeshadow palettes. There's Belly. I'm going to have 4 eyeshadow palettes that I will roll in and out. I'm just going to use them 5 times each throughout the month, and then roll them out for another one and just keep track of the usages. So this way I can still use all of my palettes, and I can rotate them out and then still collect the usages. And then as the end of the year goes on, I can maybe narrow down certain ones, but I need to be able to move stuff in and out, and I want to get as many pans as possible. And I think this is probably the best way for my way of doing eyeshadow or makeup. So I think what I'll do now is I'll show you how I did in the last 3 months. I don't have them in, I used to have them in order, but the dogs keep flying things all over the place. So I started in September, so I guess a few months ago. Or the first palette that I got a pan on is my ColourPop Bling Time. And the pan I got was this pan here. Let's see if we can use it. This one is terrible. And I got that, and now all of my palettes I've obviously been using. So this one I've used about 16 times. I don't know if I've used that color 16 times, but I've used the palette as a whole 16 times. I got pan on Bling Time after 6 usages in this project. So there's 1. And then I think Amethyst I didn't roll in for, so this one I did roll in for the inner corner shade. Got my 6 usages on it. Got pan, rolled it out. I'll still bring this back in to complete the other remaining usages to make it 25 or 26, whatever year I'm on. But it'll probably get brought in as just the pans or the eyeshadow palettes that I use 5 times. Now Amethyst, I got my next pan in the ColourPop All Amethyst palette. And I think this is the one that I've just rolled in to use my 5 uses on. And I got pan on, what's it called? Crystal Crazy. And I only had to use 2 uses on that one. So it is like super powdery. Like you put your brush in there and it just goes all over the place. So it was definitely a surprise pan. They're pretty deep, but I don't think I've only used this eyeshadow palette 11 times since I've got it, and I probably have used that maybe 11 times. Well, 11 plus the 2 uses in this. So, oh no, that would be with the 11 because I do mark it on the back. So there we go. That was just, so that was, I got my 2 uses on it, got pan, and I rolled it out, but I'll still bring it back in to get the rest of the uses for the 25 usages. The next palette I used was the Avatar palette by Colourpop. These ones are so hard to see because they're so shiny. They're pretty in real life, but try to get them on television or on video. So I got Pan and Air Blast next, and that was another inner corner shade, and that was in September as well. And I used that one 7 times to get pan, and then rolled it out. So using it this way, so I'm only using this one every day in the inner corner until I get pan or my 25 usages. So I seem to be like just flying through these palettes, getting the usages on them, or the pans on them. So the next one I used in September, or that I got pan on in September, is the Arabian palette. And it was also an inner corner. And I had 8 uses on that one. Sand Ray. Or sand, that's just the color. That's kind of dirty there. But anyways, I used that one 8 times. 8 times, yeah. So then we rolled that one out. So I'll still bring it in to get the 25. So Box of Chocolates was also September. Oh, hold on. Sorry about that. My dog started barking. Ferda. She started barking out the window, so that scared me. Okay, as we carry on, also in September, I brought in Not a Box of Chocolates, also by Colourpop, and for an inner corner highlight and highlight around my face. It looks like 9 uses to get to pan on that one, so that is that one. Limoncello I got after 4 uses, so it'll be interesting to see if this whole pan, like once a whole palette has 25 uses each, like how used it's going to be, because that was only 6. Now I have used this palette probably about 30 times, which isn't a lot when you think about, but I have a lot of palettes. I shouldn't have as many. Last one in September was the Naruto palette by Colourpop. And I only had to use this shade twice. And to hit pan. And I don't have my glasses. So that is Hidden Leaf Village. And in September, using this process, got me 7 pans in 1 month. Like, that's pretty good. Next we did October. I didn't get as many pans in October, but the first pan would be in avocado, I think it's called. Yeah, avocado. And I only had to use that one 7 times to get pan. Now I've used this palette a lot. I really like this palette. I've used about 20 times, I think, and I've most likely used that already 20 times. So we're probably at more like 28 uses for that pan there. But in this project, I used it 7 times. And then the next one, there's only 2 that I got completed in October. And so it was Disney Designer. Now mine, Disney Designer from Colourpop, mine fell and a whole bunch got broken. So I just stuck some other colors in here, or other shades. And Prince Charming, that one there. If you can see, it's hard to see. Oh, there it is. And that took 11 uses in Disney's Designer to hit pan, and then I rolled it out, but November would be next. And the first one that I got pan on in November was in Darth Vader palette by ColourPop. I have a lot of ColourPop palettes. Stormtrooper. I used 11 times. Now this is like a creamy shadow, so it's kind of malleable, but then they're super deep. But so it was 11 uses in November for that one. I'll bring it back in to get the rest of them, and then the next pan I got was 10. Took me 10 uses. So this is the Lizzie McGuire What Dreams Are Made of palette by ColourPop, and it was 10 shades in that one. My next pan was in the Age of Opulence palette, which is upside down. I'm so out of practice. So it's the Age of Opulence palette, and I actually hit pan on a black shade in this shadow, and that was at 11 uses on that one. Or we came into December, and there was a lot of pans that I hit in December. So the first pan is in the ColourPop Star Wars palette, and it was in the first color, another inner eye corner, and that was after 5 uses on the Star Wars palette. Lost in Los Angeles. Oh, sorry, I keep forgetting to show you guys. Lost Los Angeles by BH Cosmetics. And in the Hills after 4 uses. So this is the first one that I've had through for the base color, and I used 25 uses, and I did not hit pan. So it's a pretty new palette. I don't think that I started as soon as I got this palette, the Stranger Things palettes by ColourPop. As soon as I got this, I put it right in the project, used that one color 25 times, and did not hit pan. So it'll just go back into the project. Then I used my ColourPop on a Whimsy palette, and I hit pan on Betters. So there's that one. And again, that was 6 uses. Sorry. So 6 uses on that one. Tink, my ColourPop Tink palette. Now this one I did just bring in to use 5 times. So when I do that, it's just 4 palettes, and I can use whatever I want, and I just keep track of the uses. So, and it was not, it's another one that you kind of put your brush in, and it like just, it's pretty powdery. So it was only 4 uses. And then I rolled it out, and then my ColourPop Whatever palette, and again an inner corner. I don't know if you can see that one, it's hard to see. You can see it a little bit like right there, and I used it 5 times. There it goes. Oh, there it is. I used it 5 times before I hit pan, and then rolled it out. The Rudolph by ColourPop was another inner corner highlight, and it is in North Pole. You can see that. North Pole, and it took 8 uses to use that one up, or use to hit pan. And then my Ziggy palette. So this is another one that I used, the black, and I used it 25 times. Oh, sorry. This is the Ziggy palette. David Bowie. It's like a David Bowie inspired palette, and it is by For Art's Sake Cosmetics. And I used the black 25 times, and I did not hit pan. But I got 25 uses. It barely looks like it has been touched though. But anyways, I'll be excited to bring it back in to use for the rest of the time. So it looks like I have done 2 that I got the full 25 uses out of are 11 pans and 11 palettes. So 13 but pans or completed shades. So 2 completed shades and yeah, the rest are pans. So I think this is really working for me. I can have like the 3 base color, black in the inner corner, and then pick whatever I want for palettes that I bring in. So that gives me four eyeshadow palettes rolled out at least a month if I get all 5 uses without pan on any of them. And then I have one more pan that palette that I've been doing, which I've never done a pan that palette before either. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I'm really liking this and it's working with my system. So I'm excited to see what happens in 2025. And I hope that you come back and see my progress. I think my next video will be how many pans I have currently. And then we'll see by the end of the year how many pans I have completed. So thanks for spending time with me, and hopefully you found this as interesting as I did. And I will see you in the next one. Thanks. Bye.